Hey, it's Gray. NHL16 Be A Pro.
Along with Eddie Olczyk, Ray Ferraro in a moment. I'm Mike Emery.
So first and foremost, Emmerich, Olczyk, and Ferraro are great as commentary, color commentary, play-by-play. They do a really good job. They make me believe that it's a live game in some instances, as best as you can do. Obviously, with the vast amount of voice work they must have done to get all of the play-by-play and this team is doing this and not doing that, or from period to period how that might change. It's really good. I don't feel like it's too disjointed. There's a couple of spots where there might be some hitches in the cadence, but that's fine. I mean, there always is, but it's not so noticeable that it detracts from the experience. I think that they do a really good job. How it feels in the Be a Pro sense. The last time I really played was 14. I checked out 15 with some friends, but it was garbage. There's no way I was giving EA money for that. No way. But it feels like a good 14 experience. There have been some changes to how Be a Pro works, among other things, of course, and how the feedback system works and how you can train from week to week. It's just more like, I suppose, what a real player would do. You do strength training, you'll get stronger. But if you ignore it and focus on puck handling, maybe you'll get faster hands. Unfortunately, a stiff wind could blow you off the puck, perhaps. But I'm really enjoying it. I like the way it looks. I like the way it plays. I like the way it feels. I am extremely happy that hockey season is back. And much more than preseason these days, the release of the NHL franchise game from EA is the indicator to me that hockey season is upon us. So I'm really happy. So I'm playing the wing, on the right wing. That's me, number 42. Really, just because I don't want the responsibility in each game of being so defensively minded on defense, of course. Goalie doesn't really appeal to me. I've done it once or twice in the past, and it loses its appeal. Although I got some favorite goalies over the years and stuff, I'm not like I gotta play goal kind of player. So I even leave the settings for that at default in the game. And center ice, you've got to win faceoffs. And sometimes that's a lot of fun. But when you're in a slump and you really don't know how to beat somebody and you're losing faceoff after faceoff and missing out on offensive opportunities and blowing defensive faceoffs that could cost you a goal, it gets really kind of frustrating. So it's nice and safe in game to play on the wing. So I chose to play on the right. So I like having more games to improve your draft position than in some of the previous iterations. I always like to start prior to the draft, not too far prior. I think I never really focused on it, but I think there was a version, maybe even in NHL 14, that allowed you to play all the way up from the beginning of your, say, OHL career into the NHL. I think that was an idea. Or maybe it was just an idea that my friends and I had. And wouldn't it be really masochistic of you to try? I don't know. But anyway, I don't like just assigning myself to a team. I like playing in that, say, rookie game before the draft and then finding out what position I might go in and which team I end up on and maybe how I might engineer a trade over the years if possible and so on and so forth. But this format's much better because it gives you more than just the rookie game, singular, in order to prove yourself. If you do well in the tournament, you get like up to 5 games or more, actually, if you don't do as well. I'm trying to discount the bye that you would get into the final if you had the best record coming out of round robin. But anyway, you get more than one game, which is great. I think that's a good way for you to establish how the game works, because as I'm playing here, I'm making all kinds of mistakes. playing coverage too high near the blue line and missing guys down in the slot and all that other kind of junk. And when I should pass and I end up trying to shoot, or when I shoot and I really should have tried to pass, or what I think will go through people, but like, are you crazy? That's not going to go through people. It'll never see the net, and so on. You know, you can work some of that out from period to period, but you get multiple games in order to really refine how you're doing, which is great. I'm really enjoying that aspect of it. I'm not sure if that was in the previous version. Like I said, 14 was a single game. Having multiple games, though, much better. The game went back and forth pretty good, almost all the way through the third period. I think it was probably the closest game that came out in the tournament, but there'll be some other footage that gets down to that in my quest to achieve a high ranking in the draft. Just because they can get up to like 30-35 minutes, I've trimmed down the second and third period for this particular video just to highlight some of the assists, which I got a number of, but to be fair, 2 or 3 of them were mostly just because I was on the ice and I missed the net, like that one there, for instance. I do have a good setup for a McDavid hat trick that's coming along. But other than that, I'd say I was lucky to get 2 goals. I believe they were both in the third period. Let's see what this one is here. Yeah, stay in the slot. Try for the top left. Nah, it didn't work. Try for the top right. Much better. It's nice to see that some of the plays that I relied on so heavily in 14 are still viable in 16. Walking in from the hash marks and then trying to pick a corner, typically in an opposite direction from how the goalie is moving. Still works pretty good. I mean, I'd have to keep track of whatever the percentages are. I mean, it's not 100% of the time. It's not a guaranteed goal. Much like the tic-tac from the feed here down to McDavid isn't always a goal. But it's got a high frequency of success compared to, you know, just taking random shots and hitting the goalie into mask until something ricochets in or something. Since I wasn't gonna, or I'm not able to pick the team that's gonna draft me, the only thing I have control in that sense is what draft number I go at, or roughly so, of course. You know, you perform well, you go higher in the draft, or perform poorly and you'll go lower. So I chose here to start the tourney with the Erie Otters, just because the quality of play that you're going to get when you're on a line with McDavid kind of eases the process of figuring out controls and what works and what doesn't work and how you meet the demands of the coach from play to play and period to period and that kind of thing. So definitely easier than my playtest that I tried with the Kingston Frontenacs, but that's not to say that as I get more comfortable, if I create another pro sometime in the future, that I wouldn't pick a different team in order to get rolling. So that's the game. Game 1 to us. Tune in next time. See ya.